to for licensing. So in case you're not yet familiar with the process, to be a financial advisor, you need to have a license. So hindi basta-basta you can just sell insurance because maraming information or na kailangan mong tandaan when you sell insurance. And these are the basics, basically. Ito yung pinaka-basic na kailangan natin matutunan. And once nakabisado natin yung basic, it's going to be easy for us to understand proposals, even with different companies. Kasi pag sinabi, ano ba yung life insurance? Ano ba tong type of product na to? Diba? Pag sinabi niyang, ordinary life yan, or permanent life yan, or you'll get to know that later. Pag tinignan niyo yung even different proposals, pare-pareho lang yung concepts nila or yung meron sa kanila. So very crucial to in understanding. So ang goal natin today is to understand the basic concepts of life insurance. And then, of course, ang major objective natin is to pass through the first hurdle, which is the licensing exam. So yun yung isang key na kailangan natin mapasa. Kasi without that, hindi tayo makaka-move on to the next. So kailangan make sure natin na naintindihan natin to the point na mapasa natin yun. Don't worry, hindi siya mahirap. Yung exam, but it requires understanding. Okay, so hindi rin siya yung tipong i-memorize mo lang and then okay na. Mas madali siya if naintindihan mo. Okay. Pero this pre-contract training course is easier compared to the next one, which is the video, just later on na natin. Right? So lahat ba kayo or sino dito yung may access na to the LMS, the e-learning online portal? So siya, kayo wala pa? Wala pa? Okay, sige. So you'll need that. So whoever invited you here, just request for that access para after the training, matatag kayo as tapos na kayo mag-training ng PCTC. And then you'll be able to answer the exam. So we'll go through that.
Naka-access ka na, Ms. Judy?
Binigyan ako ng bago. Tapos yung huli may mga hindi ko pa na-complete.
Pero nakuha mo na yung link with the email.
Yeah,
So, okay na yun kasi later na.
Yeah. So after the course will
Pakilala ko ulit ang link para makuha sa record.
Okay. Sige, by the way, my name is Jeremy Tan. So advisor ako for 9 years already. So the last time I took this course 9 years ago. So once yun lang naman kailangan i-take yung course na to. And once yun lang kailangan ipasa and then you're done. So this is actually a refresher dito for me when I took the course. Actually, yesterday I took one of the mock exams. So crucial din yung mock exam. Basta later we'll talk about the next steps. Alright, so let's begin. Foundations of life insurance. Yeah, sige.
Yung license ba, government obligation?
Yeah, the insurance commission.
So nare-renew din sa yearly?
Yes. Pero yearly ba yun or every 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah, every 3 years. Pero merong mga requirements every year. Pero automatic. Di ba may yearly requirement yan eh?
Kaya kailangan mo i-event ng maliit na quota.
Very minimal na. As in maliit lang talaga. But every 3 years I think yung licensing.
Yes, you have to pay.
Every 3 years yung licensing. So yeah, government nag-issue insurance commission. Alright, so let's start. Foundations of life insurance. May idea na ba kayo what life insurance is or the basic concept? Yeah, sige.
Alam mo kung life insurance, as in...
Pero alam mo na kung para saan yun.
Para po, pag mayroon pong emergency, hindi ko kaintindi ko.
Okay, pag may emergency.
Mayroon kang matatakuhan pag case na mayroon pang emergency.
Okay, so parang savings.
Parang
savings. Anyone sing?
Actually, yeah, yung sabi niyo. Dati kasi yung concept ng life insurance, if anything happens to you, even if you're at home,
yeah.
But now, marami na siyang components. Either if you need for health emergency, at the same time, meron pa siyang savings component.
Yeah. So, yung pinaka-basic is the debt component. Actually, even before, meron siyang mga savings component talaga. Hindi lang siya bago. Meron mga bago products, but the basic or the pinaka-basic life insurance is basically death benefit and merong savings component depending on the type. So, Objective natin is just to understand the purpose of life insurance and what is the human economic value. Basically, give you an idea of more or less ano ba yung pinoprotektahan natin when it comes to insurance, and of course, ano yung different risk or hazards na sinasabi. Yung sinasabi ni CG na may health coverage and so on and so forth. Pag-usapan natin in the first chapter. Okay, so this is an example case, parang case study or parang real life example of what insurance is. So, this is si Sam. Sino ba dito married? May family? Married, may family. Married, may family. Kids? Ilan? 3 kids. Nag-aaral, college. Say, sir.
Isa lang po.
Isa, nagka-college na rin. So, the rest, single? Single. Alright, so let's say si Sam or si Miss Gigi or si Sir Francis, they have kids, and nag-work sila as an employee before. I assume si Sir and si Ma'am nag-work yata currently as an employee. And let's say, syempre, of course, we're working because we want to be able to provide the basic needs. Diba? Food, shelter, clothing, yung mga basic na kailangan natin. And being the breadwinner, tayo magpro-provide nito for our family. Not necessarily for our kids, pwedeng for our parents, di ba? Breadwinner ka for your parents or kapatid mo, di ba? Possible din yan. So, if something happens, anong mangyayari? What will happen to the family? How can they be able to get the basic needs? So, this is what we call the human economic value. Yan. Dito, the total value of the assets and any future earnings derived from there. So, total value ng mga assets nyo plus ano yung future earnings, di ba? Pwede nyo pang kitain while working. So that's what we call the human economic value. So just an example, so let's say si Sam or anyone here is earning 30,000 a month. Okay, so in 12 months, that's kano yan?
360.
Yan, huwag ka na. Sasagot ko.
Kailangan ko ng tulong.
Okay. Alam mo na yung sagot eh. 360 a year, okay? So 360 a year, and assuming si Sam will be working 25 more years, di ba? Magkano yan? That's around magkano yan? 360 times 25. Sige nga, computin nyo nga, how much yan? For the next 25 years, every year, kailangan niya kumita ng 360. Ilan? 9 million. Diba? 9 million. So, yung present day, kumikita siya ng 30,000 a year, and assuming na tuloy-tuloy yung work niya, smooth sailing, dire-diretso yung work niya for the next 25 years, 9M yung kikitain niya. Okay? So, that's human economic value. So, 9M. Now, of course, there are two main sources of income. One is man at work. Ito yung nangyayari sa atin ngayon. Work tayo, sa case ni Sam, nag-work siya for 30,000 a month, and assuming dire-diretso, he'll be able to accumulate or kailangan niya ng 9 million. The second source is, money at work. So, dito papasok ano yung ginagawa natin dun sa kinikita natin for it to work for us. Okay, so, yun yung two sources of income that we want to take note of. Diba? Ngayon, so man at work, there can be hazards or risk. Okay, so si Sam, nag-earn siya 360 a year, 360,000 a year. What if nagkasakit siya? So, makukuha pa ba niya yung 9 million? Possible, yes. Kasi nagkasakit siya, makaka-work pa rin siya. But mentally, psychologically, might not be fit anymore, or mahirapan na siya. Pag disable siya, possibly yes, makuha pa rin yung 9 million, but mentally and physically, possible din na hindi na. Worse, if namatay yung si Sam, and yung 9 million na yun would not be possible already. Right? So, yan yung risk of man at work. Okay. So, money at work naman, of course, wala namang risk masyado in terms of physical ability. If we let our money at work, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yan. It would work for us go continuously. So it would be able to support our families. So life insurance is a way of sharing the risk. Okay. So tandaan natin, yung three hazards, di ba? Critical illness, disability, and death. Life insurance is a way for us to share this risk in case mangyari yung mga yun. Na yung family natin will still be able to get that 9 million na supposedly year-early sang. Okay, so it's a risk sharing, a way to manage the economic loss. Okay. And ang basic benefits that life insurance can provide is family protection, guaranteed savings, kasi katulad ng sabi ni Ma'am kanina, and retirement income in the future. Okay, so family protection, saan mag-work yan? Let's say, yun nga, si Sam, nagkasakit siya, na-disable siya, namatay siya, family is protected. Kung may coverage siya, insurance siya of 9 million, that means pwedeng mabigay sa family niya yung 9 million. And they don't have to worry about the basic needs for the next 25 years. Okay, then, that's how family protection works. Guaranteed savings. You know, pag okay naman, everything goes well, buhay si Sam for the next 25 years, may ipon din, meron din siyang savings. Okay? Doesn't mean na sobrang laki, pero at least it continues to grow. Tuloy-tuloy siya. And retirement income. So pag umabot siya doon sa 25 years, after 25 years, pwede niyang gamitin yung savings na yun or maybe benefits of life insurance to get income. And later on, may makikita nyo anong types of products that can help you achieve those things. So, ito yung basic benefits na life insurance can provide us. Okay, so 3, tandaan yan, huwag niyo kakalimutan. Okay, so as an example, ano ba yung another case or analogy of a life insurance? So let's say you have a choice, di ba? You have a goal of 10 million in 10 years. Okay? So you have an option to take the stairs or ride the elevator. Okay? So if you take the stairs, diba, pwedeng may mga risk involved. Diba? Pwedeng mainit dun sa stairways, diba? Mamatay ka, involved ka, madulas ka, and those are the risks. Diba? But if you take the elevator, somehow that elevator protects you. Diba? Protects you. At the same time, helps you. Money at work, kasi sinasabi natin, tutulungan ka. Easier for you to get up to your goals. At the same time, mas protected ka within that. Hindi ka mapapagod, yung chances mo magkasakit are lower. Doesn't mean na never mangyayari, pero they're lower. Mas mababa kaysa pag inakyat mo yung stairs. So, even if you're not around, just in case may nangyari sa'yo dun sa elevator, may matay and all, sa tingin nyo ba yung elevator pupunta pa rin dun sa floor na gusto nyo puntahan? Pupunta pa rin, di ba? Pupunta pa rin siya doon, aakyat pa rin siya kahit walang tao, kahit wala ka doon. Kailangan napindot mo. Pag hindi niya napindot, hindi talaga siya aabot, di ba? Pero aakyat siya, and that's how life insurance works. Kahit na wala yung wala ka, it would still go to your goal. You would still be able to reach your goal. Right? Clear ba to? Clear? Basic. Okay, so pinaka basic concepts. Okay, so try natin kung maintindihan natin. So, mga pop quiz dito. Okay, fundamental advantage. Sagutin nyo to Fundamental advantage of the use of life insurance as means of meeting economic loss is that through life insurance, these losses are A, reduced for the group as a whole with the multiplier effect. B, deferred for a specified period of time. C, met as they arise through savings accumulated on assessment basis. Or D, spread over a large number of people. Ano ba yung fundamental advantage of the use of life insurance? Yung nagsabing A, B, C. C or D? C? Lahat C? C? C. The correct answer, D, C ang tamang sagot. It's D. Okay, tandaan nyo yung life insurance ang basic and purpose niya is spread the risk, di ba? Yung key term doon, you spread the risk. Yun yung pinaka-main objective niya. The savings is there, pero ang pinaka-main objective niya is spread the risk. So yun yung lagi natin isipin. Life insurance first is a protection product first. Protection. Yung risk of us getting sick or us financially not capable of providing, tutulungan tayo ng life insurance. So we spread the risk first over a large number of people. Risk sharing di ba? Marami tayong insured. Basically, the company will partner with you para yung risk can be shared between us. Okay, so yun yung main purpose. Tama naman, you can, with savings accumulated, etc., etc. But ang main purpose is always spread the risk, protection, family protection. Okay, so spread the risk. Yeah, basic principle is sharing the financial consequences of events that are unlikely to occur, like death of a breadwinner. Okay, with life insurance, economic loss that may be experienced by one individual can be shared with other people. Okay, risk sharing. So yun yung number one. Same concept natin minsan, savings. Yung pinaka-enticing, savings accumulated. Pero ang main purpose talaga niya is risk sharing, family protection. Yun yung number one objective ng life. Clear? Clear? Ganito yung mga types of questions that you will see in the mock exam. And sometimes the words are exacto. Ganyan na ganyan. Okay, pag makikita niyo yung mga mock exam, if you try it, minsan yung words na ginagamit nila exactly the same. Okay, but, having said that, basahin nyo pa rin. Okay, makita nyo yung sagot, ito yung sagot. Hindi siya gano'n. Basahin nyo pa rin para sure. Okay, next. Insurance provides protection against economic loss by enabling the policy owner to A, transfer the responsibility for the loss of others. B, take speculative risk to compensate for the loss. C, reduce the possibility of the occurrence of the event causing loss. Or D, share the loss with others who are exposed to similar risk. Ano sa tingin niya? Sige. A. Meron ba A? B? C? Or D? Bilis magtaas ni Taneta. D agad Ano? D? C? Who says C? A. D. D. Si Nell and Arvid.
A.
Transfer this responsibility for the loss of others. A? Sino A? A. A ka rin, Arvid? Ano sa'yo? B? Ano yun? Ano yun? Ano yun? B? B? The correct answer is D pa rin. I think si Ms. Gigi naisip na niya. Risk sharing. You don't transfer the whole responsibility to others, di ba? Kasi nagbabayad ka rin naman ng premiums and all. So kahit pa paano, risk sharing siya. Always risk sharing. Sharing yan, sharing. Hindi lang isa yung nag-compensate ng loss niya. Right? So risk sharing. Tayo kasi lahat tayo parang kabuuan yan is lahat tayo, if we're all insured, pretty much we're sharing with the risk. Parang pooled yung risk natin. Okay, so risk sharing siya. Share the loss with others who are exposed to similar risk. Again, yung concept of risk sharing very important when it comes to life insurance. So,
Hindi rin siya B, kasi it's speculative, it's parang investment. We want to highlight it's not about the investment.
So this refers to the concept of risk sharing whereby a group of people pool funds, di ba? Sabi ko, we pool tayo lahat, if we're all insured, the risk is shared among us. Diba? And the resources together in preparation for life's many risks. It enables group of people with similar circumstances to spread the risk to a large number of people through cooperative risk sharing. So yun yung concept niya. Right? Question. Next. A person's human economic value is defined as, ayan, mas madali ito. Pag nakita niyo yung human economic value kanina, verbatim, nakasulat na doon. Total value of the individual's tax contribution to the national economy, yan ba yun? Total value of his physical assets, nang ba yun? C, the amount of capital required to replace family income needs, or D, total value of assets and any future earnings derived therefrom. D? That ba D? Agree?
Yes.
Ano, Arjun? Hindi ba? D din? D? Nel? Yan, the correct answer is D. Total value of assets and future earnings. Okay, so yung mga compensate ng life insurance yung future earnings.
Kasali rin yung dalawang yung salita.
Ay, kasali mo ba kayo? Okay, yeah.
First time
Dati,
nila
nakikita ko naman sila nag-raise ng hand.
First time sila leader.
Okay, so D, it's person's human life values measure of what he has able to accumulate and what he can reasonably expect to earn in the future. Okay, so yun yung, actually, mas importante yung what you will earn in the future. Okay, kasi yun yung mas hindi na mara-replace. So, always remember that. Okay, clear tayo sa basic foundation. Now we go for different types. Okay, ito na yung mas technical ng konti. Okay, so feel free to ask if you have questions. Okay, so at the end of this module, you are expected to differentiate traditional life insurance from variable unit linked or ULP plans. Actually, we'll focus more on traditional life insurance. Yun lang yung focus natin. What the VUL is in another course, which is the VUL licensing course. So, pero just an overview, the VUL is the one with life insurance with investment. In case you're familiar. So yun lang muna pag-usapan natin, but the nitty-gritty of that sa ibang portion. Focus tayo traditional life insurance. And identify recommended plans that suits the need of the prospective client. So dito, you'll see ano yung mga different types of plans that you can offer clients. So the type of plans, one is a term, which is protection. Ang pangit slide. Pure protection. Okay, term, pure protection. Yun yung key doon. Pag sinabing term, pure protection. So key yan. These are concepts na very important na you understand. Pag sinabing permanent plan, you have protection. Yan ito, di ba? You have protection and savings. Okay? It's not investment, savings. So permanent plan is protection, family, protecting yung kanina, di ba? 3 basic benefits, di ba? Protection, savings. Pag sinabing variable, which is the VUL, it's protection with investment. Okay, protection with investment. Okay, so we'll focus on term and permanent with part muna variable. Okay, it's a different course. Okay, so important to guys, term, permanent, and variable. At least ma-differentiate natin what are those. Para pag sinabing, pag nakita nyo, anong type of plan ba to, sir? It's a, pag tinignan mo, ano to, permanent plan to. So alam mo kagad, pag sinabing permanent plan, alam mo kagad anong meron niya. Ay, pag sinabi niya, sabi kasi nung advisor ko, it's an investment. Ay, sir, hindi po yan investment kasi permanent plan po yan. Ang meron lang yan, protection and savings. Walang investment. Okay, so, kailangan very important yun para pag nakita niyo yung whatever proposal, may identify mo what type that is. Pag may nakita kayong proposal na wala naman tong living benefits kasi protection lang. Ibig sabihin, pag namatay lang yung insured saka lang may benefit, then that might be just be the term insurance. Okay, so very important yan. So now, sa term, you have level term, and decreasing. I will dive more into that in a bit. And then sa permanent, there are two different types din, whole life and endowment. So these are more detailed types na. Pag-usapan natin what is the whole life, what is the endowment, ano ba yung difference ng level and decreasing term. Okay? So term plans has the following features. Okay? Protection period, 10 period, walang maturity benefit. Pag sinabi maturity benefit, usually this is what you get habang buhay ka. And then nag-mature yung policy. Ibig sabihin, nag-end na yung policy. Ano yung makukuha mo at the end? Pag term, wala nun. Kasi anong masabi natin sa term? It's just purely protection. Okay, so wala siyang maturity benefit. Now, for example, issue age is 30. Let's say I'm 30 years old and I got a 10-year plan. Okay? 10 years to pay, and then ang face amount, which is ang coverage ko is 1 million. Okay? After the 10 years, buhay ako, may makukuha ba ako? May maturity? Wala. Wala, kasi buhay ako eh. Diba? Again, that's term, di ba? Protection lang siya. Within 10 years, pag may nangyari sa akin, then yung family ko may makukuha or ako may makukuha depending on the type of product. Pero wala akong makukuha habang buhay ako. That's the basic concept of a term product. Clear? Clear yung term? Diba, pinag-usapan natin there are two types of term, the level and the decreasing. Diba? So level meaning pantay lang, diba? Pantay. Ibig sabihin, the term mo for that 10 years, assume yung kaninang example, 10 years, 10-year term. 1 million ang face amount. Ibig sabihin, for the whole 10 years, 1 million lang. 1 million yung coverage niya. Hindi siya nagbabago. Okay, that's level. Face amount remains constant throughout the term. Okay. Decreasing term, ano ibig sabihin nito? Face amount decreases every year while premiums remain the same. Okay, so bumababa yung coverage. So mamaya, isipin natin or papakita natin kung saan ba ginagamit itong mga to, paano natin gagamitin. Bakit ka kukuha ng level, ba't ka kukuha ng decreasing term? We'll probably discuss some examples of this. Okay? So yun yung difference ng level and term and decreasing. Ang features ng term plans is convertibility. Meaning term siya, walang living benefit, di ba? And then na-realize mo, parang kasi gusto ko nang meron living benefits. Pwede ko ba i-convert yung term ko product ng living benefits? Pwede. Which is the permanent plans. Pwede mo convert yun. So yun yung isang feature ng term plan. You can convert it to a permanent policy without proof of insurability. Meaning, kumuha ko ng term today. Okay? 10-year term. And then on the 5th year, nag-decide ako, ay gusto ko convert to a permanent plan. Ang problema, on that 5th year, medyo may sakit na ako. Taas na yung BP ko and all. Do I need to, kailangan ko bang ipa-assess yun? No. Kasi nga, without proof of insurability. Okay, as long as nagbabayad ako ng term ko, I can convert it anytime na hindi ko kailangan ipakita na insurable ako. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin ng convertibility features. Ang crucial doon is dapat nagbabayad ka kasi tuloy-tuloy yung payment mo dun sa term mo. Hindi ka nag-lapse payment and all, you can do that. Okay? Pwede mo i-convert. Renewability. Term policy to term policy allows for renewal of the term policy without proof of insurability. So yung kanina, 10 years, 10-year term, okay? Tapos na yung 10 years. Let's say, on the 11th year, pwede kong i-renew for another 10 years. Kahit na may sakit ako, okay lang. Hindi ko kailangan ipakita na meron akong insurable ba ako or hindi. Okay, so yun yung second feature of the term plan. Convertibility, renewability. Clear? Sige.
Bakit po kailangan siyang i-renew? I mean, after ng 10 years, dapat mananatili yung module, di ba?
Kasi term siya eh. So the word term, you are insured for a specific amount of time lang.
So after ng 10 years,
Wala
babalik sa yung pera o wala na rin?
Wala
Wala na rin.
na.
Ay, yung ibig sabihin ng term.
Yun yung ibig sabihin ng term. Protection lang siya. Wala kang makukuha while you're alive. You're just protecting yourself. Okay?
And at the same time, sa renewability, if it's a 10-year term, after 10 years, you can renew, but on a higher premium.
Oo, yun.
So, kung iba yun, napuputol na yung 10 years, di ba? You have to buy again. Pag bumili ka ulit, kapag may sakit ka na,
Hindi ka na
makakabili, di ba?
possible na hindi ka na makakabili.
Possible hindi ka na makakabili. But this one, it will still use your old health status. Kunyari, kung standard rating ka, even at a higher premium, you don't need proof of insurability. Kasi kahit let's say, kunyari na lang, contemplating death na, mamatay na, you can still renew your term insurance, even so, kasi kumuha ka na before. Yun siya. So, ganun. Di ba, pag kukuha ka ng bagong term, or kahit anong plan, hindi ka na makakuha kasi mamatay na nga, let's say, bedridden or whatever. But with term insurance, you can still pay. Just pay it.
Tutuloy mo lang. So, sa term, again, wala siyang living benefit, so you won't get anything. And then, kaya nga sa term, you are covered for a certain term lang. Whether 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, ganun lang. Wala kang makuha after that. If you choose not to renew it, okay lang. But again, if let's say after the 10 years, hindi ko na ni-renew, and then after another year, gusto kong kumuha ulit, then ang mangyayari, you have to go through the process of underwriting. So if meron ka ng mga existing health conditions at that time, mas mahirapan ka na kumuha. So yun naman yung renewability and convertibility. Okay. So if you want, let's say after 10 years, gusto mong na-realize mo, ay sige, convert ko na, gusto ko yung may makukuha ako, may maturity benefit or savings or whatever. Convert ko na lang. Pwede. So yun yung gagawin mo. From totally death benefit lang na makukuha mo, you can convert it to a permanent policy na may protection and savings. Okay? Clear? So, yun. Ito, example. Ito. 10-year term. Let's say 10-year term. After 10 years, you can convert it to a permanent plan. Or usually, kahit within the 10 years, alam ko pwede. Ito, yan. Yun sinasabi ni DJ, 10-year term. After 10 years, you can... Uy! Sorry. Bitawan. After 10 years, you can renew it again for another 10 years without showing that you are insurable.
So I guess yung advantage ng term is siya yung cheaper sa lahat ng.
Yes. Okay. Wala pa dun, pero yeah, yun yung advantage niya. It's the cheapest one. It's the cheapest one. Kasi wala kang savings benefit. You're just paying for protection. And hindi ka protected until age 100 or until death. Diba? Protected ka for 10 years lang. So binabayaran mo technically for 10 years na coverage lang. But, yung sinasabi nga ni DJ, when you renew it, the premiums go higher. Kasi nga, your age goes, you are older by 10 years, so may konting risk na doon. But at the same time, hindi mo na kailangan ipakita na you are insurable or not. So yes, tama, cheaper.
So when you renew, mag-iiba yung value.
Mag-iiba yung premiums. Same coverage, you say 1 million. Base amount niya, 1 million pa rin. But the premium you're paying, tataas ng konti. Depende yan kung how old you are. Pero minsan, hindi rin naman ganun. Sobrang, hindi siya yung magdodoble. Hindi siya ganun. There's slight incremental changes sa premium. Pero cheaper pa rin siya compared to if you get a permanent plan. Cheaper pa rin siya if you renew.
Hindi pala yung ginagamit sa MG term pala yun. Kung sa inyo akong
ING.
Yung may IMG rate.
IMG, yes. IMM?
IMG.
IMG,
So,
yes. Term yun.
Ako kasi may IMG ako. So, when you join, papayag ka ng 5K.
Term yun.
5K. Then, may insurance kayo automatic, 100K.
Yeah.
So, yun siya, nag-expiring every taon kasi kailangan mo rate ng IMG, which is 1,500. So, every year, nag-renew ka ng 1,500, pero 100K ng insurance.
So yun, ganun siya. Isipin mo, 1,500 lang binabayaran niya, pero 100K. So, ganun siya ka-cheap. Okay, so, isipin mo, kung 1,500 lang, 1,500?
1,500.
1,500 lang binabayaran. So, parang wala pa, halos 100 lang yun per month. So, it can be that cheap depending on the coverage. So, yan yung term. Okay, so, natin. Term insurance offers pure protection only and no living benefit when the specified period is over. True or false? True or false? Mas may conviction naman. True. Parang hindi pa rin sure eh. Dalawa na nga lang pagpipilihan natin eh. Yung may conviction, pag sinabing true, para alam ko na talagang nandyan niya. True or false? True. Okay, so true. Tama. Yan. Okay, so clear tayo on the term. Pinaka-basic. Now let's move on to permanent plans. Okay. So whole life provides protection up to age 100. Okay, so yung term, certain period, crucial to, you know the difference. Kasi, like I said, understanding the difference, malaki na yung may tutulong niya sa inyo. Okay? When it comes to the exams, and once you're coded, mas madali na. Whole life provides protection up to age 100. Okay? Meaning, pretty much your whole life. Okay? Protected ka. And then the endowment plan provides protection up to a certain period and pays the maturity benefit if the policy owner outlives the plan. So ito may living benefit na. Okay, so ang difference sa whole life, protection siya. Protection. Meron yung savings which later on you will see, pero purely you use it for protecting yourself and your family. Endowment, usually this is what we use for mga retirement and all. Kasi you will get a certain amount after or during maturity. Okay, hindi siya umaabot ng age 100 to get maturity. Okay? Depending on the type of plan. So, yun yung difference niya. Whole life protection, pero may savings benefit yan. It's just that yung maturity niya, age 100, or if you surrender the policy, or pag sinabi mong ayaw mo na. Endowment, meron protection pa rin yan. But, hindi mo kailangan paabutin ng age 100. You can get benefits already. Okay, before umabot yung age 100 or once na nag-mature na yung policy. Okay, so yun yung key difference nila. Okay, so ito yung features. Protection period till age 100. Paying period usually till age 100. Maturity niya. The living benefits you get it after age 100. So if you outlive the policy, which is age 100, saka mo pala makukuha yung maturity benefits, yung living benefits. And usually, the premium pay period is up to age 100. Meaning, bayad ka ng bayad.
And so, diretso yung bayad niya.
Usually, mamaya makikita nyo meron mga limited, mas detailed pa. Meron naman mga plans na hindi diretso yung bayad. But again, papakita natin later. Pero ito yung basic concept niya. Ito yung parang usual. So sa whole life plan, may ordinary life. Ito, example. Ordinary life, face amount 1 million, issue age 30. So from 30 to age 100, protected ka na ng 1 million. Pay period mo, dire-diretso to age 100. Maturity period mo, 100. So yan yung basic. Now, pwedeng limited pay. Ito yung tinatanong ni pwedeng pay period mo, 20 years lang, pero you're still protected until age 100. Pwede yan. It really depends on the plan. Okay? Pero ang pinaka-concept ng permanent plan is that may protection and savings. Yun yung pinaka-basic. Okay? So, pwedeng limited pay, pwedeng ordinary life na pay to one.
Question.
Yeah.
Pero yan, let's say 20K like that. So you're protected until 100. You're paying for 20 years only. Pero you can only get the benefit when you
Yung maturity, meaning yung 1 million, you can get it
Yeah.
until age 100. Pero
What if I want to get it early?
you get a small portion, which percentage lang. May table yon of what we call the cash surrender value. So if you want to get cash, the savings na naipon, let's say at age 70, for example, then isa-surrender mo na yung policy. And then whatever is yung katumpas nun na value at that age, bibigay sa'yo.
What if you pass away before
If you pass away, bibigay sa'yo one.
bibigay na sa'yo? So it's
So-
either you reach that or something happens to you.
Yeah, to get this, to simplify it, to get 1 million, either mamatay yung insured or you outlive 100. Okay? Makikita nyo rin at sa proposals or pag nakita nyo yung mga permanent plans, makikita nyo yung surrender value or cash surrender value by age 100 is equivalent to 1 million. So yun lang yung time na makukuha nyo yung 1 million. Otherwise, you'll get less than that. Ang advantage naman to, you pay 20 years lang naman. Covered ka lang to age 100. Okay. Endowment plans. Ito naman. Okay. And features, protection period for a specified time per age. Parang term, di ba? Parang term. Specified time lang each. Premium pay period, specified time lang or age. But ang difference is may maturity period siya. At the end of your pay period, may makukuha ka. Okay, may makukuha ka whether dire-diretso, tuloy-tuloy, lump sum, or staggered payment, meron makukuha ka. Okay. So for example, 20-year endowment, 1 million ang face amount. Ang FA is face amount. Okay? It's usually the coverage that you have. Issue age 30. So protection period mo, since 20 years siya, 30 plus 20 years, so hanggang 50 years old. Premium pay period, hanggang 50. May maturity siya. By age 50, you will get some maturity already. Okay? Hindi not necessarily lump sum, but you will be able to start getting something, okay, by age 50. So, ito example. Endowment at 18. So, let's say issue age. So, regular endowment at 18. Issue age, ito, just to pakita natin yung difference. 20-year endowment, tingnan nyo yung name. 20-year endowment, it's a specified period, 20 years. Endowment. Ito, at 18, ibig sabihin, you get benefits at age 18. Okay, so 5 years, let's say yung anak, or usually ito minor, obviously. 5 years old pa lang, meron na siyang endowment plan, coverage niya, and face amount is 1 million. Protection period until age 18, period pay until age 18, maturity until age 18. Ibig sabihin, by age 18, he will start getting some benefits already, living benefits. So this is good for education, ganyan. Usually ganito yung naggamit. Clear ba?
Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Yan, maturity period at age 18. So,
Kasi 5 years siya nung kumuha siya, 5 years old.
ang kuha na niya yung 1 million after 18 years.
Depende sa type of plan. May mga type of plan na whether makukuha niyo 1, minsan madalas usually yan staggered. You will get certain amount age 18 every year or every 2 years, makukuha ka, let's say 10,000 every year until makuha mo yung very rare na merong full amount like yung 1 million makukuha mo. Very rare yung endowment. But staggered siya usually.
And yung staggered is mga depende sa plan.
Depende sa plan. Minsan 2 years, every 2 years, minsan every 5 years. Pero you will get something. Bali naman yung difference niya with term. Sa term, wala ka talaga makuha. Dito may makuha. Okay, clear? Okay, pop quiz ulit tayo. Can you guess how long is the protection period for a 15-year endowment? Yeah, ano sa tingin niyo? 15-year endowment. So, pag kamali pa tayo dito, 15 years. Okay, so 15 years ang protection period. Okay, for 15-year endowment. Okay, ito. What's the other name for a 15-year endowment plan? The insured got it at age 40. What is another name? So, 15-year endowment or alala niyo yung kanina, yung two examples, di ba? Anong sagot? 15 years, 40 years, 55 years. It says 15 years. Yeah. 40 years. 55 years. Si Francis. Hindi ka sure. Hindi ka sure. Okay, so 55 years. Okay, so endowment, di ba kanina yung two examples natin? A 20-year endowment plan, yung isa, endowment at 18. Di ba? So ito, 15-year endowment plan. Okay, ibig sabihin, 15 years ang magbabayad, 15 years maturity. And another name for that is endowment at 55. Diba? Kasi 40 plus 15 years, 55. Endowment at 55 na yung lalabas na. Endowment at 55. Parang yung kanina example, endowment at 18. Ibig sabihin, maturity nun is at age 18. Dito, parang lumalabas niya tanong, ano yung maturity ng 15-year endowment plan? Okay. So, clear?
So once it gets mature, automatic protection mo wala na.
Yeah.
Diba? And
Okay.
start na.
But you get living benefits natin. Start getting living benefits. Okay? Now, permanent plans can be further subdivided or at least meron pang types. One is a participating or non-participating. So, participating is you have dividends. Okay? Diba, permanent plans have a savings benefit. Diba, yun yung tandaan nyo, huwag nyo makalimutan yun, savings benefit. Yung savings benefit nyo, aside from the regular accumulation of the savings, you can also earn dividends. Okay? Dividends are not guaranteed. Ilang percent yan, how much, hindi yan guaranteed. Okay? This will all depend on the company's performance, claim, yung yearly claim, records, diba? Kung marami nag-claim, mas less yung dividends mo. Kasi, syempre, that's more expense for the company as well. And yung performance, the profit ng company, profitability. Pag sinabing participating, as the policy owner, you are participating in the company's performance. Okay, so hahatian ka ng benefits, hahatian ka ng profit. So that's participating. Meron namang plans to non-participating. Meaning, walang dividends. We're not given dividends. Pero you still get the regular savings. Accumulated savings pa rin siya. Pero you don't earn dividends. Okay, clear ba yan? Clear? So, what are dividends? Return of excess premiums not guaranteed because it depends on actual company experience of three basic factors. Yan. Mortality, expenditure, and earning. So, yung sinabi ko, marami bang claims for that year? Malakas ba yung expenses? Maganda ba yung profit ng company? Doon yung nagbe-base yung dividends. So, but they are not guaranteed. So, may mga years na walang dividends. May mga years na mayroong dividends. May mga years na mas malaking dividends than others. May mga years na mas malaki. Okay? So, clear tayo doon sa participating and non-participating. Clear? For ano lang to for permanent plans walang ganito si term. Alam ko madalas ko inuulit pero that's very basic yung kailangan na mag-grasp kagad natin yung concept niya.
May question.
Yeah.
Because of the effect of the pandemic, naiba ba yung parameters ng measurement? Insurance?
Yung dividends?
I mean yung di ba, kasi pag higher risk, mas mataas. Hindi na bago ba?
Wala naman. Kasi, in terms of the premiums, ganyan. Usually, kasi yan, for the existing products, hindi naman yan binabago. But of course, the new products, may certain assessments yan that they kaya nilabas itong product nito because ganito. Possible na higher na rin or whatever. Pero, looking at it overall, wala naman masyado. Kasi if you get the older products, basically, if someone got it at age 30 and then you're gonna get it at age 30 as well. Pre-pandemic, age 30, ito yung premium niya. Post-pandemic or within pandemic, age 30, same pa rin naman yung premium. Diba? Assuming all the parameters are the same. Wala namang changes. The dividends may be affected. Siguro, if you're gonna ask kung may mag-change, the dividends may be affected. Kasi it's not guaranteed. Not just because of the mortality, because of the earnings, the expenses, possible, di ba? Kasi iba na rin yung business and all. So, that can be affected. It doesn't necessarily mean na affected siya, pero it can. Kasi not guaranteed. Yan lang yung pwedeng galawin of an insurance company. The other benefits naman, it's a contract which later on you will see. Hindi ko pwedeng galawin yan for the insurance company. It's an agreement na. Ito lang yung pwede kong i-adjust, kumbaga. Okay? Clear tayo? So, categories of life insurance plan. Okay, so meron din tayong tinatawag na joint life plan. Okay. Individual plan isa lang yung insured. Okay. Meron tayong joint life plan, meaning dalawa tayong insured, say kami yung insured kami on the same plan. Or meron group plan. Lahat tayo, we're in the same category. Lahat tayo employees, di ba? Sino employee dito? Okay, so usually pag employed ka, the company has group plans for you, di ba? Life insurance na plan or the HMO. HMOs are usually considered group plans then for a company. Okay, so later on, makikita nyo, they're cheaper kasi nga group kayo. You're sharing risk further. Kumbaga, di ba, individual plans, we're already sharing the risk. Further, pag group plans, you're sharing more risk. So, cheaper siya. Same thing with joint life plan. Let's say, tayo, Francis, I overheard you're 49, I'm 41. So, yung premium mo, if you get it alone, is more expensive. If I get it alone, less expensive. Pero pag pinagsama tayo, more or less, you get it a little cheaper. I get it a little more expensive. Pero dalawa tayo. So, yun naman yung concept of a joint life plan. Basta you just remember, merong individual, may joint life, merong plan. Alright? And then yun yung difference. Okay. Pop quiz. Then, whole life provides A, the highest level of savings for the insured within the specified term of years. B, protection for the life of the policyholder with premiums payable for a limited term of years. C, low-cost protection only for a limited term of years with no savings. Or D, protection with premiums payable for life and low level of savings as an alternative to continued protection in old age. Ano sa tingin niyo? Sige nga. Sigaw niyo yung tignan natin kung magkakapareho kayo. Isigaw niyo yung sagot. Sabay-sabay. 1, 2, 3. B. 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 B sa'yo. Okay. Sino sabing B? Isa lang ba? A? May iba? C? D? D? The correct answer is D. Okay, so may mga keywords, guys. Tignan nyo. Term. Keyword na yan eh. Term. Specified term. Highest. Wala naman highest level savings per the insured specified term eh. Pero ito term na yan eh. Limited term. Protection, premiums payable for a limited term. Hindi rin yan eh. Kasi term. Diba? Term. Low cost. Hindi naman low cost eh. Pag sinasabi natin term, is the lowest cost. So hindi siya low cost. Diba? And no savings. Diba? Ano sabi natin? Kaya ako yung stress lagi yung difference between a term and a permanent plan. Kasi nga, if you go through the exams, may mga keywords that you can see, you can look at. But you don't have to memorize the full yung sinabi na ano ba yung sagot sa letter D. Pero you will see the different words na pwede nyo. So, bakit D? Protection with premiums payable for life, di ba? Maturity, yung payment period niya until age 100. Pero savings, di ba? Yung sinasabi natin kanina, may savings, low level, as a convenient alternative protection. Longest protection with low level savings. So D is the answer. Ito, next. An individual at age 35 purchases a policy under which he will receive the face amount of the policy himself in 20 years if he is alive by then. This policy is A, none of the above, B, 20-pay life, C, 20-year endowment, D, 20-year term. Individual at age 35, bumili ng policy. And sabi dito, will receive the face amount of the policy in 20 years if he is alive. Hindi, sabi ko, hindi sure, hindi lahat ng plans merong lump sum. Usually it's staggered, but you can still get a plan. Depende sa plan. So the correct answer is C. Yeah. Kasi pwedeng lump sum din talaga. Depende yan sa plan. Depende siya sa plan. It doesn't mean na hindi talaga siya pwede.
It could be.
Yeah, you could get it lump sum. Pero very
Meron,
there are. Pero most na nakikita ko usually staggered.
Karamihan
meron
ng bago.
Oo, yung mga bago. Yung mga older policies meron.
Ganun, before, it was like, you pay 10 years, you wait for 10 years. On the 20th year, you get the
Yun, pwede yun.
Ganun. So, but ngayon, parang nag-uso yung parang every 2 years, may mga
Ang mangyayari ngayon, usually, you pay 10 years, and then minsan on the 12th year, may makukuha ka na start before pa mag-end yung 20-year term.
It's more attractive.
Ganun. So, yan. So, keywords again, you will receive face amount policy, okay, in 20 years, okay? So, yung mga keywords, hindi siya hanggang age 100, di ba? Hindi mo kailangan mabuhay hanggang 100 to get the benefit. So, kaya siya endowment. Hindi naman siya term kasi meron kang makukuha. Okay? Hindi rin siya 20-pay life kasi this usually refers to babayad ka for 20 years and then you're covered until age 100. Okay? Kanina nakita natin whole life na limited pay whole life. Okay? So clear? Clear? Pag may questions pag unclear, gusto nyo paulit, okay lang. Problema. Okay, 20-year endowment plan where the policy owner can get face amount by the end of 20 years. He outlives the plan. Okay, next. A yearly renewable term life insurance policy generally specifies that A, the policy owner may renew the policy only once. B, evidence of insurability shall be required every renewal. C, premium shall increase every time the policy is renewed. D, none of the above.
C.
Mas may conviction na. Bilis C agad Okay, that's the correct answer, C.
Naiintindihan na.
Okay, so the policy owner can renew every time before mag-lapse before the end of the term. Okay, so hindi lang siya once. And then you don't have to submit evidence of insurability. So premiums will increase every time. Not every year. Depende sa minsan may yearly term. Every year you have to renew. But every time you renew, tataas yung So merong 10 years ka magre-renew. After 5 years ka magre-renew. Meron namang every year magre-renew pa. Pero every renewal, the premiums will increase. Okay. So clear? Riders na tayo. So mabilis pala ito pag Questions?
Yeah.
Questions?
Kasi like if the LMS ka, kung 1 hour ka per module, di 7 hours na yun.
This talaga, I went through the LMS.
Yes.
Pag wala kang background,
It's hard, yeah.
it's harder to understand. Kasi babalik-balikan mo siya. Saka like yung mga ganyang questions, hindi mo masasagot agad. Okay, so ano to? But we're not even halfway. 200 plus.
May question ako.
Yeah, go.
Ano yung advantage ng individual?
Premiums, for example, sa group are
In
the
terms of
cheapest.
benefits, ano yung mas maganda?
Well, depende rin kasi yan sa purpose eh.
Kasi mayroon ako.
Pero group kasi usually, syempre, pag wala ka namang ka-group, saka meron yung merong insurability, yung insurable interest, meaning there's a reason why a company, for example, insures the employees. Kasi pag nawala yung isang employee na yun, it's a loss for them. Kailangan nila mag-hire ulit, di ba? They will get another employee, they will train another employee, expense rin yun sa kanila. Plus, added benefits rin yun for their employees, like yung family. They will get benefits from their family. So, iba-ibang it's more on purpose driven than ano yung advantage niya. Kasi let's say, you're 60, for example. Yeah, maganda yung better pa rin. Individual policy ka na lang, but it's more expensive. So gagawin mo, maghahanap ka ng someone younger, like your apo, or your anak, para joint na lang kayo. Diba, pwedeng ganun, para lower ng konti yung premium mo.
Kasi meron akong VUL sa aming family. So, tatlo kami. Ang ginawa ng agent ko, individual ko yung tatlo, so pinayaran ko yung tatlo.
Hindi, ganun kasi talaga. The group insurance can only be offered sa company.
Usually companies, pag family,
You cannot get
usually,
How about yung joint?
yung joint, pwede, pero rarely meron sa VUL. Ang advantage naman nun is you have investments, katulad ng sinabi ko.
Depende sa depende rin sa design ng product or sa company. I don't know if there's example later, but AIA has a joint life. Pero doon,
Walang example.
Term insurance siya. Tapos, either or yun. Ibig sabihin, whoever comes first. And whichever comes first. Pag namatay din sa iyong husband, hindi na rin insured si wife. Ganun siya. So yun, it doesn't mean na kaya lang sa joint life, nagiging mas mura siya kasi parang hindi ko sure kung sino mauna sa amin, di ba? Pero I want us to be covered.
Pero hindi ko kaya kumuha ng insurance for each of us. Yes, mo. So,
pero yung mga joint
hindi ko kaya dalawa kumuha ng dalawa. So, might as well get a joint. Pero usually, it's more protection talaga.
Pero individual talaga. Yun talaga yung tama mo. Wala namang iba talaga.
Yun yung pinaka standard options. Individual. And then pero sa group, usually it's company. Or schools, yan. Usually mga ganyan. Schools, you insure the kids, ganyan sa group. Or the barangay, ganyan. Alright, question. Riders. Okay, so anong objective natin? Familiar ba kayo with riders?
Yes po.
Okay, so what are riders?
Yun po yung parang module siya na yung certain purpose ng policy mo, like life insurance. Gusto mo rin sa health. Talaga yun na yun ng riders para dun sa health na hospitalize ka, meron kang benefit.
Yeah, tama. So these are, objective mo na. Features of the different riders. Actually, pag-usapan lang natin dito, what are the different riders? What are the provisions of the riders? Ano yung mga dapat. Pero basic idea of riders is yun. Tama si Sir Francis. Yung whole life, ito yung whole life ko. Actually, death lang yan and savings. Ngayon, gusto ko dagdagan ng other benefits that would supplement my whole life. Health benefits, additional coverage, term coverage, for example. Then, i-add ko siya. So, parang, if you buy, let's say, salad, for example, basic, tatanungin ka, do you want to add more bacon, more chicken, diba? Or more carrots, pero babayaran mo extra, add-ons. So, add-ons siya. to your policy that can help give you more coverage. So yun yung basic concept ng riders. Okay. Yeah. Basic plans provide the following substantial savings in retirement benefits. Term riders can provide the following: disability, dismemberment, or hospitalization. Yung tawag ng term riders kasi usually it's for a certain duration lang. Hindi rin lahat until age 100. So certain time period of time. So purpose, in effect for a specified period of time, supplementary contracts which are attached to the basic policy. So, pinag-usapan natin. Length of coverage. Usually, the length of coverage is equal or less than the basic plan. The length of coverage and premium of the term ride of the riders is equal or less than the basic plan. So, pwede kasi term na yung plan mo, so covered ka for a specified amount of time, gusto mo dagdagan, so equal to that, or less than that pwede. Okay, so ano yung different types of riders? We will discuss disability payers, term accidental death benefit, term insurance rider, family income rider, guaranteed insurance. Yun yung types of, we have 6 types to discuss here. Ito muna, yung sa mga pinaka-common, disability waiver of premium. It's basically, premiums are waived if the insured is totally and permanently disabled. Totally and permanently disabled. Ibig sabihin, let's say I have a plan, okay, and pay till 20 years to pay siya, for example. And then I added a disability waiver of premium. And then, naging permanently disabled ako. Then, ibig sabihin, on the 10th year, for example, 20 years to pay, on the 10th year, naging permanently disabled ako. Meaning you don't have to pay the next 10 years, pero you're still covered. Okay, so ganun yung basic idea. But of course, may mga provisions. Diba? So, sa total and permanent disability, there should be uninterrupted disability for not less than 6 months. So, ibig sabihin, dapat in a 6-month period, disabled ka pa rin to consider it as total and permanent disability. Okay? So, pwede naman kasi pag sinabing permanent, is totally talaga, totally pero dapat merong waiting period na tinatawag. 6 months. May waiting period. Okay, so let's say, disabled ka here, diba, itong red line na to, you still have to wait for 6 months. Okay? And during that 6 months, kailangan mo pa rin magbayad ng premium. Then after 6 months, disabled ka pa din, then premiums will be returned, and then the succeeding premiums are waived na. Okay, so that's how it works. Clear back here. Yung total and permanent disability. Disability of waiver of premium. Here, questions. Okay, well, habang waived yung premium mo, policy remains in force, cash values are still increasing. Cash value, meaning ito yung savings component ng permanent plan mo. If participating plan, may dividends ka pa rin. So, yun yung advantage niya. Disabled ka na, hindi ka na nakaka-work. Possible na hindi ka na nakaka-work kasi disabled ka. You still get the benefits of your life insurance. Okay. Ang hindi qualified if it's suicide or due to combat activities, war or soldier power. Hindi yan qualified for waiver of premium. So exclusions na tinatawag. You must be gainfully employed. Dapat employed ka. To get disability waiver. Then, required ba dapat employed? Parang minsan hindi.
Hindi ka nagbabay. Hindi ka naman employed, but you...
I think hindi kasi I think for this, it's more of that for the waiting period kasi merong yung if you are not able to yung total disability kasi is you are not able to find employment in the next 6 months because of that or permanently, that's called total permanent disability. But total disability, you can for 6 months lang. Kumbaga, meron kasing disability na disable ka now, pero after a year, you can still recover your di ba? Kunyari, na-stroke ka and all, or na-pilay ka, but the recovery period is more than a year. That's still considered disability. You can still get the benefit of the waiver of premium. Meron din namang totally naputol yung kamay mo, then wala na, tapos na. So that's permanent na disability niya. So hindi ka na talaga makaka-work and all. So that's also eligible for disability. Yung must be gainfully employed, I think it's more of, kasi you can insure naman mga housewife. Hindi naman sila employed. But I think more of, I think kasi may consideration din na if you are not able to work anymore, isang criteria yun for total and permanent disability.
Tsaka dito, napapansin ko din sa mga plans natin. Kapag walang income, kunyari, walang work, let's say housewife or student, walang, you cannot attach a waiver premium rider. Nag-automatic sa IPOS natin. Ganun. So, yun yung maganda lang sa AIA. Dahil yung automated yung proposal generator natin. Hindi ka magkakamali na maglalagay ka. Ganun. So, makikita mo, mawawala. You cannot choose the WP rider. Ganun. So, yun. Ganun yung napansin ko. Pag housewife, usually owner, walang WP rider. Parang naka-automated na siya na na hindi mo siya may attach. Kasi nga, siguro under the impression na it doesn't mean naman na, hindi, ibig sabihin kasi dahil dineclare mo na housewife, wala talagang source of income. Kasi kung housewife ito, pero merong business, let's say online seller, dapat i-declare mo siya as business owner. Para magkaroon siya ng may source of income. Ganun. Yun. Kasi si waiver of premium is, yun nga, kapag nawalan ka ng ability to earn, you cannot pay it. Yun yung idea niya eh. Kaya i-waive yung premium. Technically, you don't need to pay and still, you are still insured. If it's term insurance, up until the end of term. If it's a permanent plan, up until the end of yung paying period. If it's limited pay or pay up to age 1. Yun yung...
Pero paano yung sinabi mo na, let's say after 6 months, nakaka-work ka na ulit. Yun?
Waiver pa rin yun kasi basta uninterrupted within 6 months, you are disabled.
Yeah.
To consider yun as permanent disability at output. So total disability is yung hindi ka na talagang totally, let's say, naputol yung kamay mo or mo.
Third question, yung disability card, ano lang siya sa disability? Kasi diba last year, parang madami na so, papasok mo siya as
Hindi, meron siyang meron siyang
list.
may list of requirements na parang 3 out of 6.
Pero I think overall hindi yata kasama yung mga...
Hindi kasama siya meron. May list may list.
May list, let's say, in fact, minsan, yung for some, like, yung kamay, di ba, usually may mga ganun, let's say, pag naputol yung kamay mo, if meron kang riders on accidental riders, at how much yung matulong. So basically, ganun din yung sa waiver of premium. May list kung ano yung pasok lang. Pero usually mental, kasi actually lately lang yan nagka-come up eh. Marami na rin questions, diba? Yung mga help desk natin, maraming mga ganyan questions. Parang mental issues, insurable, bagay. Pero usually it's physical. Yeah. Usually it's physical.
I don't know if nandun sa slides pero like in
walang
my
mental
videos I remember, mayroon kasi siya sa proposal na naka-specify ano yung dapat meron para ma-waive. Ganun. Para, di ba? Meron eh. So,
meron. Usually sa contract.
Like that, you have to wait for 6 months bago ma-declare na.
Oo.
Yeah. So So there are two types about per total and permanent. Yung total disability is pretty much yung naputol yung kamay mo, hindi ka na let's say surgeon ka, and then naputol yung kamay mo. Diba? So hindi ka na makaka-perform ng surgery kasi wala na yung main source mo of income. So that's called total disability. Pag sinabing permanent disability, uninterrupted disability within 6 months. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng after 6 months, you can regain that motion or you can get back to normal. Pero within 6 months, if disabled ka pa rin, then you can still claim for waiver of premium. So yun yung difference. Total disability means, I think lumalabas yun to sa exam, so you have to take note. Total disability means you can perform whatever it is your main occupation is. Permanent disability is uninterrupted disability for 6 months. Pero may possibility that you can still regain whatever it is that you lost after 6 months. Okay, so yun yung difference ng total and permanent disability. So sa total disability naman, kumbaga na yun pasok na rin Kung naputol kamay mo, in the 6 months, di naman natutupo yan. So, pasok na siya doon sa 6 months na yun. Okay, clear ba yan? Okay. Next, payers benefit. They usually attached to juvenile policies. So, meaning juvenile, meaning minor yung insured, iba yung payer. So, like, sample ni Sir, binabayaran niya yung sa anak niya. So, most likely, siya yung payer, yung anak niya yung insured. So, if the payer owner dies or becomes disabled, premiums are waived up to policy maturity or until child reaches 25, whichever comes first. Disability, the payer owner must be total and permanent. Patulad din sa kanina, yung may 6 months waiting period. Clear ba payers benefit? So let's say, as an example, so let's say ako, kinuhan ko yung anak ko ng plan, insured siya, then ako yung payer, ilagay ko ng payer's benefit, and then na total permanent disability ako, not the insured. Ako as the payer, then waive na yung sa CBP. So payer, tandaan yung payer is different from the insured. Okay? The payer is kung sino yung nagbabayad ng policy. So pwedeng magkaiba yan.
So if the child reaches 25, she has or he has to pay the
Premium.
premium.
Hindi siya forever.
Ang payers kasi yata hanggang as long as minor lang.
Kaya nga ito hanggang 25 pa nga. So mataas-taas pa. Yung mga ACP natin, yung mga
Kasi yung 25 pa dapat yan.
Pero dapat meron kang payers benefit.
Yeah, meron. I mean, it's for insurance.
Okay, so accidental death benefit rider. Accidental death benefit rider provides an additional amount of insurance in case the insured dies of an accident. Okay, so accident dapat. We use the term accident if the occurrence is an event is unexpected. Tapos death must occur within 180 days or 6 months of the date of the accident. So dapat, let's say na-aksidente ako ngayon, dapat within 6 months namatay yung na-aksidente, then that's where you get the accidental benefit. So accidental benefit is additional benefit that the beneficiaries get. So let's say may plan ako and then nilagyan ko na accidental death benefit rider, then na-aksidente ako, then napatay ako within 6 months, instead of 1 million lang from the life coverage, pag may accidental death benefit rider ako ng another million, so makukuha ng beneficiaries ko 2 million. Okay, so this is more of, hindi siya premium waiver, but more of additional benefit, financial benefit. Clear? Clear ba tayo doon?
Death must occur within. Paano kung during the accident namatay ka na?
Hindi, kasama na yun.
Kasama.
So
Sama
it's
na yun.
either that or pag accident.
Basta within 6 months.
Parang feature siya na kung doon namatay ka, hindi naman doon sa pagka-aksidente, covered ka pa rin.
Hindi, dapat nangyari, may nangyaring accident.
Kaya, kung sabihin, hindi lang na doon ka namatay sa aksidente. Ibig sabihin, even after ka na-accident, doon ka lang namatay, covered ka pa rin.
Within 880 days.
180 days.
Beyond 180 days, hindi na siya considered as accident.
Oo. Kaya nga. Hindi rin.
Hindi, dapat related. Dapat related.
It will most likely be related if you have tumaas yung high blood pressure. I think that's what you mean, no? So, tapos biglang, di ba, tapos dun yung kinamatay niya. As long as there's an accident probably causing that sickness, yun. So,
Kasi baka yung sinasabi mo, let's say na-accident ako. Tapos na-recover naman ako. Tapos biglang sumakit yung iba na yun. Hindi na yung accident. Diba? So, pwede kasing na-accident ako and then nakoma ako or let's say nagkaroon ako ng complications or whatever. Operation tapos nagka-complications or whatever. Due to that accident. Okay. Here, accidental death benefit. Straightforward naman. If any of the excluded risks, excluded risk causes death, only the face amount. So, yung sickness, yun nga, iba na to, hindi na talaga related sa accident. Self-inflicted injuries, poison, suicide, gas inhalation, warlike activities, attempt to commit crime, murder, assault, or evasion activities, private claim, hindi siya sali. Siguro, ang closest na dito sa accident sa private claim. Okay? Move tayo sa term insurance rider. So again, term. So term plan is attached to either a whole life or an endowment policy. Okay, so this is pretty much additional coverage. So for example, a 10-year term insurance rider with 1 million face amount attached to a 1 million whole life plan. So whole life plan, ano yung whole life plan covered until age 100. So whole life plan ako, and then I attach a term plan for 10 years. Then, how much, let's say namatay insured here, how much na makuha ng beneficiaries here? 2 million. Kasi may term, may term rider guy. So, 2 million. Bakit nag-attach ng term rider? Kasi it's still cheaper here, di ba? Kasi term lang siya eh, than covering yourself until age 100 for 2 million. Mas mura pa rin siya kasi 10 years ka lang yung 1 million. Di ba? Here ba yun? So yan. Ito, until age 40 ka lang covered. Yan. How much is the total face amount in this period? That's 2 million. In this period. Okay. Here ba yun? So pag lagpas na sa period na to, let's say dito namatay, yung insured, 1 million na lang. So 1 million na lang.
But you can only do that when you get the full life at the beginning. Hindi pwedeng yung nasa gitna.
Mag-attach ka ng term? Depende rin sa plan. There will be plan that will allow you to attach riders in the middle. Usually, hindi to kasama sa exam, baka malito kayo kung saan ka pwede mag-attach. Pero, let's say if yung plan mo is pay to 100. Yung plan mo is pay to 100 hanggang habang buhay ka, magbabayad ka. Pag ganun yung plan, usually you can attach driver anytime. You can attach riders anytime. Pag ganun yung plan mo. Pero pag let's say, yung plan mo is 10 years to pay lang or 20 years to pay, usually hindi ka pwede mag-attach. Riders in between during the payment period. Pero depende yun sa plan. Just to answer it, simple, depende sa plan. But you can. Okay, clear sa term insurance rider? Clear yan. Family income rider. A decreasing term insurance attached to a permanent basic life policy that gives monthly income payments to the beneficiary in addition to the face amount of the basic plan. So, example. So, meron kang family income rider of 10,000 a month, in-attach mo. And then you have a whole life plan na 1 million ang coverage. So if the insured dies at age 35, how much income will this beneficiary receive monthly for the remaining 5 years? 10,000 a month. So let's say family income rider mo is until 10 years. So pag namatay dito, age 35, the family can still give 10,000 per month on top of the 1 million. So,
Starbright.
a month, 10,000 a month. Hindi siya kinukuha dito sa 1 million. Separate siya. So, pag namatay dito yung insured, makukuha na ng family yung 1 million. On top of that, meron siyang monthly na 10,000 per month for the next 5 years. Okay?
Kung hindi namatay, hindi mo kinabangan yan.
Yeah, okay. Hindi mo rin makukuha naman ito. Wala kang makukuha kung may insured. Yeah. Ano na? 5 years yung alin. Kasi yung namatay siya dito eh. So, you still have another 5 years to get the 10,000. Kung namatay siya dito, then ibang number of years yun. Mas matagal. Gets? Nasagot ba yung tanong? Ano yung tanong mo? Hindi ko sure na nasagot. Hindi. Different yung term insurance rider. Ito kasi 10-year term, di ba? 10-year term, huwag mo isama sila. Iwalay muna natin. 10-year term, pag namatay yung insured within this 10 years, okay, meron siyang additional 1 million on top of the 1 million na full life. So, kaya siya makakuha ng 2 million. Dito sa family income rider, term pa rin siya. Ibig sabihin, kasi 10 years ka lang covered for the family income rider. Pero ang difference niya is decreasing term. Meaning kasi, kaya siya decreasing term kasi pag dito ka namatay on the 5th year,
5 years na lang.
5 years na lang yung makuha mo worth 10,000 per month. Hindi siya katulad nung sa term na yung makukuha mo yung lump sum, you get it 10,000 per month. Doon kasi sa term, pag nandito ka namatay, makukuha mo yung 1 million additional. Dito, decreasing siya kasi pag dito ka namatay 5 years, less yung makukuha mo than if namatay ka dito. Okay. So clear ba? Yan sa ganito. Okay. Thanks.
Kasi,
Yeah.
paano ibigay ng insurance company yun? Kasi, ibigay siya monthly, yung isang bigayan niya lang.
Ito, for this one, monthly yan.
Abante talaga ibigay niya.
Either, usually, kinikredit na lang yun. Mas gusto yung kinikredit na lang sa bank account or checking. Before checking. So, monthly siya. Hindi siya lump sum. Hindi siya lump sum. Kasi ang purpose nito is to augment the income. Okay, so let's say ang income, katulad nung pinakaunang example natin si Sam, 30,000 a month siya, this would help kasi ang kailangan na lang punuin ng pamilya niya would be 20,000 pag namatay si Sam. So, makakatulong to for that family. Tapos, mas controlled siguro pag gusto nung insured or ng payer, ay kasi pag binigay ko yung 1 million, I don't know kung paano nila gagastusin. So, might as well, staggered ko na lang. Parang gagawin ko na lang 10,000 per month para mas madali for them. Okay? Here? Clear yun? Clear yung family income rider. Okay, next, guaranteed insurability option. GIO permits the policy owner to purchase specific amounts of additional insurance of the same kind on stated future ages at standard rates without presenting evidence of insurability. Meaning, pwede kang kumuha ng additional coverage at certain age na hindi mo kailangan magpakita ng evidence of insurability, meaning health declaration or what. Hindi mo kailangan magpakita yun. So example, you have a whole life plan na 1 million and then naka-indicate sa contract that you have a nag-attach ka ng GIO rider and dun sa GIO rider mo, stipulated sa contract that you can get additional coverage at age 25, 28, 31, 84, 37, 40. Ano siya? Nakalagay siya specific sa contract. Okay, so clear ba yun? Ganun lang siya. You can get additional coverage. Okay, sige. Test natin. Ito, mabilis lang to. The basic coverage provided by life insurance policies may be supplemented by separate provisions that provide coverage for additional or of a different nature. Collectively, these provisions are known as
Riders.
okay, riders. So, wala naman tayo pinag-usapan na assignment. Kung hindi nyo alam yung sagot, isipin na lang. Yung deductive reasoning na lang, wala naman tayo pinag-usapan na assignment, wala naman tayo pinag-usapan na deposit privilege. So, dalawa na lang pagpipilian mo kasi dividends, pinag-usapan natin. But yeah, the correct answer is riders. So, next, waiver of premium to be effective must be A, disability must be total, B, disability must be permanent, or C, disability must be total and permanent, or D, either total or permanent.
Either total or permanent.
Ano screen nyo? A, wala naman A siguro. B, so pinipili na lang between C or D. Who says C? D? D? Mostly D? Mostly D? Parang answer C. Total and permanent.
It's either total or permanent.
Kasi di ba yung total is
Total, wala naman talaga.
totally wala na. Let's put it in kamay mo. And then permanent is yung may uninterrupted disability for 6 months, di ba? That uninterrupted is actually a subset of total eh. Yung total naman, hindi na yung babalik eh. Di ba? So you have to be either way, you still have to wait 6 months, di ba? So dapat total and permanent na.
Pero kung titingnan mo, dapat either total siya or permanent. Hindi siya combined na total and permanent. Because it would not be total.
Hindi, kasi
it would be permanent lang.
it can be permanent
Hindi siya total.
na hindi siya total, yung sabihin babalik siya.
Di ba?
Hindi, but in both cases, hindi, pero in both cases kasi you have to wait 6 months eh.
Okay lang, pero it's either hindi naman naputol ang kamay ko, but 6 months hindi ako nakaperform. So that's only permanent. That's not total.
Babalikan kita on that para double check ko lang. Pero for now, for exam purposes, tanda natin, disability must be total and permanent.
Talagang kay insurance committee.
Okay, so must be both total and permanent. Okay, so one supplementary benefit offered is a payer's benefit, which is intended to A, provide the return of premiums to an adult payer in the event that a minor insured dies. B, provide a waiver of premium benefit in the event of death or disability of the person paying the premiums. C, allow the insurance company to pay the policy's proceeds to the person who seems to be equitably entitled to the proceeds. Or D, assure that the adult payer will retain a vested interest in the policy when the insured reaches the age of maturity. Ano yung payer's benefit? Ano ba yung benefit ng payers benefit? Meron ka ba makukuha doon na lump sum? Wala, di ba? Wala. All you get is a waiver of premium. So the correct answer is B. Waiver of premium in case the payer namatay or nagkaroon ng disability. Okay, so walang lump sum benefit yan. So, another one. So Mr. Pedro Cruz became paralyzed as a result of jumping out of the window in an attempt to commit suicide. Under the usual provision of the disability income policy, he will be entitled to receive total disability income benefit in the waiver of premiums, B, receive partial disability benefits, C, be granted the waiver of benefits, or D, receive neither disability income nor waiver of premiums.
D.
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 D, D.
D.
Dog, boy. Dog. Kasi commit suicide, eh, diba? So hindi siya, excluded siya from accidental disability. Okay? Suicide is not payable under disability income benefit for waiver of premium. Okay, next, isa pa. A person wanting a greater coverage for the least amount of premium has an option of attaching what rider in his permanent plan. Yan naman yung mga keywords. Ano yung keywords dito?
Term, right? Term insurance, right?
Yan, least amount of premium. Yan. Pag sinabing least amount, usually yan, term rider premium. So, term insurance rider. Alright, question. Let's take a 5-minute break in case na CR and all. We have, siguro tapusin natin 2 more chapters and then we have lunch. Then after that, 7 chapters left. 2 more, 4, 5. See you in 5 minutes. Coffee? Meron. Good. Yeah. Oh, 5 minutes.
Just stop the recording.